There we go, and we are live.
Ooh, live. Live with a better mic
There we go.
and
Jared,
better
you have
camera.
invested in this endeavor.
I have.
So, hello everyone who is going to join us. Hello, YouTube. If you are here with us, be sure to leave a comment so we know you're there.
Yes,
Jared,
please.
how are you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm
I feel
doing
like
well.
you were super busy today.
I have been super busy all week. So, on top of the concert and the Kickstarter and raising Lily, we also just got a new house.
Mm,
And it's needed some tender, loving care. Lots of loving care. So, we just tore out an oil heater and some baseboards that haven't been fired up in years, and wow, they are disgusting.
mm.
So, lots of
Are
scrubbing.
you
Yeah.
are you in the new house now?
No, I'm not in the new house now. I'm still in the townhouse. We have like a month to move in.
Right.
The original move-in date, like possession, was going to happen on the 31st of May, and our
Mm,
lease was going to expire on the 31st of May. So we
mm,
had to switch over to a month to month, and to do that, we had to commit to the month of June.
right.
So the settlement date got moved up to the 15th. So now we have 45 days to move in instead of one.
Well, that could be nice.
Yeah,
Take the
yeah, it
time.
is nice. It gives us lots of time to do the projects. We don't have to be stressed. We can say, like, hey, there's not going to be any furniture in this room when you put new carpet in.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Well, I think we promised this time we would keep it to 30 minutes.
We're going to try our best. I don't promise anything.
Well, let's try.
Okay. Well, before we get started, we do have to get something out of the way.
Mm,
I was wrong. You were right.
yes.
City of Light is
It feels
Anglican,
good.
and I apologize to City of Light and all their fans for my lack of knowledge and confusion. In my defense, I'm a Baptist, so they're all the same anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Well, they're in Australia too, so you wouldn't know,
Yeah.
really.
I should, but yes, you were right. I was wrong. I apologize to the world. Okay,
I'll
Jared.
take it. I'll take it.
Jared, do we have any toddler tales?
Mm, toddler tales. I don't know. Do you have any?
I do. It has to do with the yard again.
The yard again.
Yes, the
Okay, go
yard
for it.
again. So, my mother, Gramsci, as she is known to Lily, got us a little kids uh, wheelbarrow and tool set. And so, perfectly Lily sized. And so she goes into the yard and she has a little Lily rake, and then she has her little Lily wheelbarrow. She can move around, and she sees Dad, cleaning up some of the grass clippings from mowing the lawn, and I'm putting them into the bag and stuff. Well, she brings her wheelbarrow over, and what she does is like, oh, okay, let's put it in the wheelbarrow, and then we'll dump the wheelbarrow into the bag. So we start doing that. Well, she sees me putting it in. Well, then she takes her rake, puts it into the wheelbarrow, and starts taking it out and running back into the yard and throwing not the leaves, the grass clippings everywhere.
Mm,
So
mm,
a little frustrating
mm.
as a father trying to get a job done, but then also super, super cute.
I don't know. Is my wife on? Maybe she has some. She she collects all the stories. Grace, do you have any? No? I don't even know if she's here or not.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
I would say there was we went to the zoo today. We went to the
okay.
Philadelphia Zoo.
Nice.
And saw all the animals, every animal. We were disappointed. They used to have a polar bear, and there was a polar bear exhibit, but apparently the polar bear died some years
Oh.
ago. Never knew. And now it's a penguin exhibit.
Mm.
But um, Judah saw red pandas for the first time, and he walked up to the exhibit, and the red panda like looked at him, and he was like, "Oh no, red pandas scare me." And then he ran up to it again. "Scare me again, red panda." So that's just Judah, though. He just does that. And then today we were giving him a bath, and Grace was doing tummy time with our little Delaney, and Judah screams from the bathroom in the bathtub, "Oh no, I poop!"
Mm.
And then I go over, and he was like, "No, Dad, no, I'm okay. I didn't poop. I just want mommy."
Well, he sure knows how to get your attention.
So, the end.
Oh man, fatherhood.
Yes.
It's a never-ending well of. Okay.
My goodness.
So, we are now almost a week into the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
How's it going?
We're a little over 4,000, I think, at this point.
Almost
Right?
halfway there.
Right.
Just
And
about one weekend.
those are legit, right? Those are legit.
Most of them are. Most of them are. So,
Right.
but we will get to that. Oh, I actually, hold on. I need to bring that up. So you talk for a second while I bring up something. I want to share this.
Okay. You want me to riff on? I didn't prepare jokes.
No, that's fine.
But
How was the concert?
yeah, I could talk about the.
Yeah, talk about the concert.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't do the concert when we did this last time, right? So
No, we did not.
it was good.
We did like barely any marketing last time.
Yeah. So I mean, the concert was good. We had a lot of your people at Calvary come, and we had one of the best vocal people that I know, Stephen Condi, showed up, and I was like, I had to sing in front of that guy, so that was crazy and not nerve wracking at all.
Who is Stephen Condi?
He's on staff still at Cairn, yeah?
Yes, he is. He's an opera singer.
He's the opera singer.
Well
Yeah,
known for his Barber of Seville roles.
He is super talented. And yeah, I had to sing in front of that guy. And that guy, he's really good. So freaked me out a little bit, but it's all right. He said I was great, and I'm gonna take that to my grave.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it went super great. I thought we had a solid turnout from your church. We have another concert coming up on June 23rd. We have like an acoustic concert coming up this Sunday, right?
At Wycombe.
And Wycombe.
Very excited for that. That's a church that I used to work at as a assistant to the pastor. Not an assistant pastor. Assistant to the pastor.
Assistant to the regional pastor.
Yep.
From the office.
So I was the assistant to the pastor there, which included doing some worship things. But I'm very excited to go back and do a night of worship for them. Yeah, and then as Jared said, we're also going to be having a concert on June 23rd at Crossing. So that'll be a full band last day of the Kickstarter too.
Yeah. So, but I thought it went well. People really seemed to resonate with the songs, and they liked the hymn arrangements that we had. I had a couple people come up to me about specifically our hymn arrangements, since we're going to be talking about hymns today, or tonight, that they really liked them, that our arrangements were some of the best they heard.
Nice.
Someone came up to me and said that it started off like this. This person came up to me. He's a pastor. "I don't like Rock of Ages." And then he goes on to say, "But your guys' arrangement was the best I've heard, and I think you changed my mind."
Yes.
I was like, I'll take it.
That's, I mean, my wife loves the original. She does not
She
like this
does.
arrangement. And every time I
She
have to
does.
say, there are plenty of versions of the original. This one is just, we're trying to get it into places it hasn't gotten before.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yes, mission accomplished.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. One of my favorite things about the concert was that talking with people afterwards, every one of them had a different favorite song.
Yeah.
And so it was I heard Face to Face was the favorite, the Sea Shanty, which is The Well That Never Runs Dry, was the favorite, Forever and Always the Same was a favorite, Rock of Ages was a favorite. Some people just really love hearing Lindsay sing, so My Shepherd Will Supply My Need was also a favorite. So
Mm-hmm.
right there, that's half the album.
Yeah.
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 So really excited about that. Now, I got the thing up that I wanted to share. So you asked how the Kickstarter is going.
Yeah.
You talked about, you asked the question, is it legit? The reason Jared asked that question, guys, is because I wish I knew this when you launched a Kickstarter. No one prepares you for this. None of the videos I watch prepared me for this. But when you launch a Kickstarter, you are a prime target for spam. And your inbox is going to be overwhelmed with spam messages. Most of them from people who want to sell you marketing. They want you to give them money so that they promise a return on your investment, that you will get people to back your project. So that's the scam. Well, some of these scams are a little bit more sophisticated. Like they will donate, they will pledge to your campaign. And the thing is, you can take the pledge away for free. There's no penalty for taking the pledge away before the end of the campaign. So they pledge like $200 and say, I love this project. Get in touch with me and we'll talk about how to get more people behind this. And then when you don't get in touch with them, they withdraw their pledge.
Yep.
So they're trying to use invisible money. They're trying to use a promise of money as leverage to get you to give them real money.
It's pretty wild.
Yes. Some of these messages, though, are fantastic. I want to read you one. This is from a Mr. Derek Funder. Funder, as in fundraising. So Derek Funder says, how was your weekend, Mr. Loch? Exclamation point. Hope it's stressful? Question mark. I have just gone through your campaign thoroughly and saw that when it is funded, it will be a very great project. But I also noticed that you have little backers on your project. So am here to guide you, can get more backers to support and fund your project to success throughout. Reply me, or if you are not active here, you can send me your social media account so that we can get to talk better on the success of your campaign. All caps, best wish on your great project, exclamation point, exclamation point. I have an inbox full of these now.
I love it. I love it.
So if anyone out there is aspiring to launch a Kickstarter, just be aware that you are going to get a whole bunch of these. And Kickstarter even has a little warning at the top of their messaging. We do not endorse any third parties. Please report any unsolicited offers or spam.
So many to report. Yes,
lots and lots of them to report. But we're in a good place coming to the close of the first week of the Kickstarter. We've passed my goal. My goal was to be 30% funded by the end of the first week. And so we're there. We are within striking distance.
Yep.
What surprised me is that the last I checked, we only had 2 out of our 30 people who signed up pledge. So there are still people who signed up and said they were interested in the project who haven't pledged yet.
Well, some of them were us.
Only
I signed up for it.
2 or 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah. So hopefully we have another 25 people who are interested in the project who want to support us who haven't pledged yet.
Interesting.
Yep. Also,
I wonder how much it would help if we I mean, I'm not the project manager on the thing, but if maybe you saw because you can see who gave, but like just a thank you note from us, like a personalized thank you email,
Mhm.
and just a reminder of like, hey, could you send this link to people you know or whatever?
Yeah, I'll have to check into that. I don't know if I can see who followed us, who signed up to be
Oh yeah,
reminded.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
but I can post updates, which I have been doing.
Yep.
So, but in a short, it's been a very good start to the Kickstarter. We want to keep up the momentum. So, if you want to see Christ the Hope of Glory succeed, share it with someone who might be interested.
Legit people,
Yes, legit
not
people.
these
Not Derek
Saudi Arabian
Funder.
princes. Yeah, not these
Yep.
guys.
Okay. Well, Jared,
Yes,
last week you touched on a topic and we promised to talk about it.
true.
Okay. So, Jared, what is a hymn?
That's such a loaded question.
Yes, it is.
That's a
Okay, so
like you
let's
could look up.
start just with personal definitions. How would you define a hymn?
I'd probably, honestly, it'd probably be along the lines of like um Augustine's commentary on what a hymn is. Personally, in that I actually got the it's a commentary he wrote on Psalm 148, and it came to mind when we were talking about this last week, and I went and found it and I kept it. And Augustine said, "You know what a hymn is? Question mark. It is a song with praise of God. If you praise God and do not sing, you do not utter a hymn. If you sing and do not praise God, you do not utter a hymn. If you praise anything else which pertains not to praise of God, although you sing and praise, you utter no hymn. A hymn then contains these three things: song, praise, and that of God. Now, God, capital God, right? So, like Yahweh proper, the Lord of
Mm-hmm.
Christianity. And then praise then of God is in song is called a hymn. Now, that's a broad definition, right? If we're talking in the category of Christianity, if we get into the contemporary versus the hymn kind of setting. But I also know that there are hymns that people sing, like secular hymns. You know what I mean? Like hymns that are written to other gods in all of history. And
That's a
but
really strange use of the word secular.
yeah, is it?
Yeah, because secular normally refers to the non-religious world. So it'd probably
Well, I
be
guess
better to say there are non-Christian hymns.
non-Christian hymns. That's what I want to say. Non-Christian hymns.
Yeah, because I don't know if
I
you
don't
can
mean like
say like Buddhism is not secular, paganism is not
not
secular.
secular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
you want to use secular just as outside the church
That's
proper.
how I was kind of that's
Yeah.
kind of how I was using it. But yeah, no, specifically, yeah, you're right. That there are non-Christian hymns.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Hey,
liked Augustine's definition. I
yeah.
like it because if we do get into the weeds of like contemporary Christian music, you know, like what you hear on K-Love or some of the modern hymnody of the day with the Gettys and the Mats and Sovereign Grace and stuff, like a lot of those are, and even Phil Wickham, like you think of like his song Living Hope or Hillsong, even. I know Anathema, but Hillsong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, praise the name. Like those are hymns. So anyway,
Yep.
what about you, Dan?
You have such a great answer, breaking out a quote by Augustine. Um, mine, mine is it depends.
Mm,
It depends on who's asking what the definition of a hymn is. And I'll use an example of this. I had a congregation member come up to me a few weeks ago and say, don't forget the old hymns. We're a family here at church, and when the seniors are left out, it hurts the family. Now, what's really interesting about this comment is that all of last year I did a hymn of the month. So we did at least one hymn a month, a lot. I'm always bringing in hymns. Come thou fount, be thou my vision, my shepherd will supply my need. Praise to the Lord, the Almighty.
You didn't sing Bill Gaither. You didn't sing Bill.
Well, the next week we went and did Because He Lives, and I got a pat on the back and said, nice song selection. Now, I didn't just do it. I didn't just pick Because He Lives because I was trying to cater to this. It just happened that those two things lined up, that Because He Lives was a really excellent summary of what's happening in the book of Mark. And it also coincided with, I can minister to the family here as well. But, so in that instance, I had tried asking, do you have any specific songs in mind? But he said, no, just the old hymns. Because I was trying to get a clearer picture of how he was defining hymns in that moment.
Yeah.
So, for him, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that a hymn was the songs that he grew up with in church that are generally poetic and were sung in parts.
Oh, yeah.
So it was about a style of music and a time frame of music and a lyrical quality of music. But
yeah.
If I was to go
what you're talking about is style.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it comes down to, people. It's just style. Stylistics. That's all. That's what they're really talking about.
Yeah. But if I was to go to...
you could... Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was going to say, if I was to go to a music historian, I say, what is a hymn? And they might just say, it's a song dedicated to a god, not just the god, but any god. And some of the earliest forms of poetry we have in our records is hymns written to ancient Near Eastern gods.
Yeah.
Some people will never be satisfied until you are singing songs from a hymnal with an organ and a piano. And the question, what is a hymn, is answered completely by what style it is.
Yeah. And I think my quote of Augustine, it kind of is also, you just dumbed it down to, it depends. That it really does depend. In Augustine, it's so broad, right? So he's got this broad definition, which is why I can include things from Phil Wickham and stuff. But it's funny you bring that up, because I had a similar conversation with somebody in our church, and routinely this man comes up to me and he asks me to play this song At the Cross. Now, it's not the one that you're thinking of. It's not the kind of major tone of Alas, and Did My Savior Bleed. It's not that. It's not that. It's a different one, and he doesn't know how it goes. But he tells me, this is the only song in all of the church that sings the gospel. And he tells me every week. And then I'm like, so I still don't know what this song is. I've been in my church for 8 years, and I have I have a strong foundation of hymnody. And I still get people to tell me, I will play Praise to the Lord the Almighty on a Sunday morning, and then I'll still get people to come out, we need to play hymns.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Praise the Lord the Almighty.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of my favorite hymns.
So it depends.
It depends. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I was a venue host at Sing last year, and I got to be a venue host for Matt Boswell. I was
Ooh.
very happy to be a venue host because his session had filled up before I could sign up for it. So I got in
Hmm.
because I was helping introduce him. And I really loved his definition too, because he's also working on his definition of it. But he made the observation that generally when we talk about hymns, it has something to do with the poetic quality of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And especially, I think this is especially true when we're talking about the modern divide between CCM and modern hymns,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
that someone who is our age and talking about hymns is generally talking about not a style of music or instrumentation, not a form or voice parts, but is generally talking about a quality of lyrics where the lyrics are poetic enough to stand on their own. You could read the
Yeah.
lyrics and people go, "Oh, that's a work of art in itself." It's not going, it doesn't need to be carried by the music.
Hmm. Yeah. I think there's a strong distinction too when you're talking about like hymnody and the modern day, even with the modern hymns, right? Like living, like I would categorize, like I said earlier, living hope and praise the name. But and like I said at the concert at your church when we did it there, I mean, there was a different mindset with the writers, with the hymn writers before us. Like they I think they were just fundamentally just thinking about congregational voice, right? And what I mean by that is like the art of singing in parts. I mean, it is dying, unfortunately, because we don't read like your everyday church just doesn't read from a hymnal, right?
Well, most
And
people
they
don't read music anymore.
and right, yeah, and they don't read music anymore, and so that it's lost on us, which is unfortunate. Um, but there are people who are stepping into that. Like I think like the Gettys are some of those, and you know, Sovereign Grace and those guys. But a lot of the songs today that even I would categorize as hymns, again, Living Hope and A Praise the Name, they're written for one voice. They're written for like a single melody. And so there is something to what you said about just the lyrics standing on their own, but there is something uh, I don't know what the word. There's something just different about the music of the hymns that I think of
Mm-hmm.
in the maybe more stricter definition of like praise the Lord the Almighty or be thou my vision or the like of those that it's like
So you would add that a hymn is written for a congregation rather than, like, maybe you would say a song is more geared for a performer.
maybe yeah, and I might say that. I mean, and people might get offended, but like K-Love and all the music that they put or your regular Christian radio station, a lot of those songs just are spiritual songs in the term in the that we shouldn't be singing on a Sunday morning. They don't have a place. Like I'm just gonna say, like they're good worshipful songs. They're not worshipful, but they don't have a place for like congregational singing.
Well,
I think that's and
I
that's what I'm
would
talking about.
I would caution you on that though, because the word congregational is a relative term.
Oh yeah,
So what is congregational for Calvary might not be congregational for Crossing, which might not be congregational for um any of the churches in the city or
mm,
Wycombe that we're going to on Sunday. You have
yeah,
the word congregation is defined by the people in it.
right,
So, what is congregational for one church might be performance for another.
maybe. Yeah, you have culture within the church. Like the church culture changes the hymns that you sing for sure.
Yep.
Like cuz our friend Dion, for example, you and I could never do what Dion does. That dude is amazing. Like
Mhm.
he's just phenomenal. But the songs that he does would not would not do well at our churches on a regular basis. Maybe on like for if we brought Dion in to do them on like a performance level and to be a worshipful and very spiritual time, then it could work. But I don't know that it would work every Sunday.
I cannot do what Dion does.
No, he's phenomenal. We should get Dion on here one.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. Um, One other thing though to talk about with hymns is that one of the definitions that comes up is hymns are the songs that you find in a hymnal, which can get pretty awkward because not all the songs in a hymnal are even written to God, because you have some hymnals that have
Oh,
all
yeah.
the patriotic songs. Some of them have like whatever the church deems is a good cultural song that they want to sing together that might end up inside of a hymnal. But one of the things
Yeah.
that you have with the hymnal is a curated experience. Someone has taken the time to sit down and say, these songs are beneficial and the church should sing them together.
Yeah.
So it's you have this natural process of selecting songs that are going to be sung, and if they're not sung, then in the next edition of the hymnal you take them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also have that as you are publishing hymnals and you're taking songs out and keeping songs in, you're going with songs that are actually used. So you have like the selection process over time. As time goes
Yeah.
on, you're left with the songs that people want to sing. Whereas immediately in the here and now, whenever we're selecting songs, we might select a song that's good for one Sunday and then never good again.
Yeah, like that happens all the time. Like very seasonal kind of songs happen throughout the life of a church,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are songs even now, like I've been at Crossing, like I said, 8 years. There are songs that I introduced, like 6 years ago that are not even in the rotation anymore. Like we just don't do them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're. I'll give you an example, and it's a song that I love, and it's a recent hymn by the Gettys. "The Lord is my salvation."
Mm-hmm.
I first introduced that song, I mean, it just resonated. Like it was just powerful. Kept it. Probably lasted like, I don't know, maybe 2 years. And there was just this one Sunday. I just remember it. I remember it vividly. It just like people barely sang it, and I'm like, that's how I know. That's how I know that like I think this is the end of this song. Because they just didn't want to sing it. They like it's just kind of like, oh, like you get that feeling like when's this song gonna be over? And then
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling that, and then I was like, I don't think our people want to sing this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you can really tell too. Sometimes there are songs that I've taken away um, too early, where I've had some people from our congregation tell us we haven't sung this song in a while, and I'm like, oh, maybe I misunderstood.
Maybe it's time
Like
to bring it back.
maybe it's time to bring it back. I think I think worship leaders, um, I think we're too hard on ourselves with like kind of like constrained or stringent. Like we got to get it right, and it's got to stick around. I think you sing a song for a season, and that's okay, and then you can bring it back sometime, and that's okay, or it never comes back, and that's also okay.
At the
I
same
think,
time, you got to be looking for those songs that endure.
yes, yeah. Um, I guess I'm advocating just be gracious to yourself in doing
Yeah.
it.
Good advice. Good advice.
You know,
But we have gone 5 minutes over already.
true.
I don't think we want to do a repeat of what we did last week.
No, your wife probably wouldn't like it, and mine wouldn't either.
Oh. So, how about we wrap up? So wrap up. Kickstarter so far is going well. We got some. Jared has done some mock T-shirt designs. I'll be putting those up soon. I'm also working on a video as like a sample lesson for anyone who's interested in the lessons tier of rewards. And if you want to see this project succeed, go over to Kickstarter, look for Loch and Cain, and you can support us. But even more important, share it with someone who might be interested in it and encourage them to share it as well. Because this is crowdfunding.
Yes.
And the bigger the crowd, the better it is. So share it, please. Yep. And if you like this, we will be putting this video up on YouTube, so you can catch it throughout the week. And also like and subscribe, follow us, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, The Worshipping Songwriter, and Loch and Cain.
Yeah. I don't see mine in there, but Dan's personal Instagram is The Worshipping Songwriter. Our joint Instagram, like our music Instagram, is Loch and Cain, and you can also follow me at Jared Cain on Instagram.
Yeah,
I put some stuff up.
So Jared,
it's a lot of the right now. It's the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah, it's Kickstarter. So Jared, same time next week.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So we can. I actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. I think I have tickets to this new Spider-Man movie. I had them a while ago.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. Okay.
It'll be next week. We have another episode next week.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way through and reaching to the end. We greatly appreciate you. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.